Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Full Time Sports Network. It is a solo stream today. You have myself and myself only. We might have people jump in, we might not, who knows. But before we get going, let's do the housekeeping that we normally do. So here we go. We are proudly sponsored by Global Mapping Surveys. Global Mapping Surveys currently assist architects, property developers, and construction companies all over the country. That is England, UK. They offer a wide range of services such as setting out topographical surveys, 3D laser scanning, and monitoring. If you would like some more information, the link to the website is in the description for all their contact details. Thank you so much to Global Mapping Surveys. And also, we are proudly partnered with Rafe Esports Energy Drink. Now, Rafe is a powdered energy formula which is mixed with water. So it's a water-based energy drink. It's a lot healthier than the generic cans you can buy in the shop as well. Its clean, zero sugar, antioxidant-rich formula is designed to give it the edge that you need in your gaming or sports. And the wonderful people at Rafe have given us a 10% discount. So if you want to use that QR code right there and use FTSN22, you'll get that 10% discount on your order. So thank you so much to Rafe. And I do know what Rafe does to you. I do drink it. I have tub here myself. I think it's fantastic. They have a lot of good flavors as well. But now that all that's out of the way, obviously, as you can see here, it is Lampard sacked. This is going to be the first topic of the day. Lampard is gone. Now, I do have a little bit of a stat here. So this is Frank Lampard. Let me just get rid of that very quickly. Hold on a second. There we go. This is Frank Lampard at Everton as their manager. As you can see, it's not been a great success for him there. I mean, 0.78 points per game. It's not fantastic, especially for Premier League, a team that is struggling, is really struggling this season. There's 17.39 win percentage, 0.78 goals scored per match. This is the issue. This is why he's had to go. This is why Everton are having such a bad season. They're conceding 1.5 goals a game. You can see it on the stats there. 1.5 goals a game they're conceding. They're barely scoring a goal a game. That is just not good enough for the Premier League. It's not good enough for a Premier League manager. So, Lampard has to go. A lot of people have been saying it. I've spoken to Everton fans that have not been happy. Obviously, you can't put all the blame on Lampard, I don't think. Yes, he picks the team, but the players have to perform. The owners have to back him. There's a lot of other things going there as well. But, of course, as the manager, you always and you will always be the one on the receiving line of the axe. I mean, if we look into the Premier League games that he's had this season, and we've got some there down at the bottom there for last season as well. Premier League, he's managed 20 games. He's won 3 of them, drawn 6 and lost 11. I mean, the League Cup, managed 2, won 1, lost 1. FA Cup, played 1, lost 1. I mean, when you compare it to last season as well, the FA Cup, he managed to win 2 out of the 3 games last season in the FA Cup for Everton. And obviously, he managed to win 6 out of 18 games in the Premier League as well. But still losing far too many games there. I mean, obviously, Everton are in a relegation battle. That is what they are in. They know they're in a relegation battle. So it is time Lampard has gone. It's not been the right time for him at all. Now, I do have... This is from TalkSport. As you can see, these are the next Everton managers. These are the people in line for the job. Obviously, as you can see at the top of that list, it's Sean Dyche. Now, Sean Dyche has an affinity with, taking teams that struggle and building them up and managing to scrape through year after year after year. We've seen it, so many times when he was at Burnley. He always somehow managed to keep them above that relegation zone. Obviously, there's Marcelo Bielsa as well. I do apologise about that. Marcelo Bielsa as well. We saw what he is able to do as well in the Premier League. He's not a new one to the Premier League at all. David Moyes, another manager that is currently in the firing line at the moment at West Ham. Again, not having a very great season, but the season is still salvageable for West Ham. Whether they pull the trigger or not will be interesting to see. Obviously, he is an ex Everton manager as well. Nuno Espirito, we've seen him, at Tottenham, Wolverhampton. He knows the Premier League quite well. And obviously, you're going a bit further down. Wayne Rooney, for instance, ex Everton player, ex Everton captain. I don't think Wayne Rooney is quite ready for this kind of job. Then you got big Sam Allardyce, Sam Allardyce as well. He's a character. Sam Allardyce is a character. It'd be interesting to see what he could do if he went to Everton. And obviously, you got a little bit further down, your Duncan Fergusons and, people like that. So it is interesting. If there are any Everton fans watching, who do you see replacing Frank Lampard now that he has gone officially from Everton? And do you blame Frank Lampard? Do you blame the board? Who do you actually blame in this? I'm just going to see if I can get the statement up, and I will read that statement for you if I can find it. I'm not sure if I will be able to find it. We will be getting on with the show, don't worry. Statement. Here we go. I'm not sure whether anything else come out as of yet. It might have. Obviously, these rumors were flying about for a little while in regards to Frank Lampard getting the axe. Anyway, I don't think there is anything that I can find, so I'm not going to keep searching because obviously we are trying to do a show. But yeah, please do get in the comments what you think, whether you think this is a bit of a harsh decision or whether you think this is right, or whether it's not his fault at all, or whether it's completely his fault. It could be his fault completely. So we don't know. We just don't know. Obviously, the next little bit of topic we're going to talk to you about, and I've seen there's a comment already in there in regards to the thumbnail saying one hand on the title, you having a laugh. No, we're not having a laugh, in all fairness. Arsenal are doing fantastically well. Hey, big up Solo. Hope you are doing well, my friend. Yeah, people aren't going to be happy. I get that. People aren't going to be happy with the thumbnail. Fair enough, whatever. But we cannot deny that they basically have got one hand on the title. Arsenal basically do. I mean, they've been the best team this season so far. So the question here is, can Arsenal actually do it? Can Arsenal stop Manchester City's dominance of what it has been? Here we've got the table. This is the league table right now. Obviously, Arsenal are 5 points clear of second place Manchester City with a game in hand over them as well. So theoretically, if they beat, obviously, I think the game in hand is Everton. If they beat Everton, then they go 8 points clear. And they have to play Manchester City twice as well. So if Manchester City lose those games as well, I mean, Arsenal are a fantastic side. We've seen how Arsenal have been doing every single week. They're not at the top of that table for no reason. They are pushing and they are challenging for the title. This is what they are trying to do this season. Michael Arteta has brought in some wonderful players as well this season. They've just signed Trossard, and I know they're signing other players as well. We've seen it all over everywhere that this is what they're doing. Gabriel Jesus, I thought that would be a big miss for them, but Eddie Nketiah has stepped up when he needed to, and now it's going to be a fight for Jesus to get back in. They played Manchester United at the weekend, scraped through that game 3-2. Fantastic match. It was a fantastic match. For a neutral, it'd been brilliant. Obviously, I'm a Man United fan. We came on the wrong side of it. but it was a fantastic match nonetheless, and it shows the step up Arsenal have actually made this season compared to previous ones. Arsenal's next couple of games are Everton away, Brentford at home, Manchester City at home. So that's one of the first ones there. But I see him getting 6 points out of the first two there. The Manchester City one's going to be a bit of a more of a challenge. Hopefully, it is going to be a bit more of a challenge. Beating Man City is a challenge, but Arsenal are at home in that game, and beating Arsenal at home is a challenge in itself. And then obviously they're going away to Villa, which should be another 3 points, and then Leicester, which is another 3 points. I mean, then they've got a little bit of an easier run before they start playing the likes of Liverpool, West Ham, and then they've got City again, and Chelsea, and then Newcastle. So they have a nice little run in for themselves until those last couple of games that I mentioned, the Chelseas, the Cities, and the Newcastles. However, I'm saying this, Chelsea aren't on form either. This is what we've got to understand, that a lot of the bigger teams are going through transition periods. Graham Potter's there at Chelsea. He's trying to do what he can there. So that'll be interesting to see how they shape up, whether they've done it in time. But nobody else can deny at the moment that Arsenal is the team to beat. We have seen it week in, week out. They're not here to mess about. They're not here to hold on to that spot and then slip up. I know, obviously, Solo is hoping that they do slip up like Stevie G, which would be hilarious. It would be hilarious, I'm not going to lie. However, I've been saying for months that Arsenal is going to win this title, and for me, they do have one hand on the title. It is in there. It's theirs to lose now. Like I said, yeah, okay, they've got the Man City games to play, but that's 6 points. If they beat Everton, they're 8 points clear. That means they've still got 2 games. And who in the chat can honestly say that their team is going to beat them? Obviously, United's beat them once. That's the only loss that they've had all season. That is the only loss they've had all season, is the United 3-1 victory. They've played 19 games, 16 wins, 1 losses, 45 goals scored, 16 goals conceded, 9 clean sheets. They've been absolutely fantastic this season. And I think people are sleeping on them a little bit, even though they're top of the league, because everyone's expecting Manchester City to do the job. Everyone thinks, Manchester City is just going to start dominating again. You have to remember why I'm saying about Arsenal having one hand on the title is it doesn't matter what anybody else does now. You have to remember this. It does not matter what anybody else does in the Premier League. If Arsenal keep winning, it doesn't matter if Manchester City win every game from now. If Arsenal drop points to City and they're the only people that drop points to, Arsenal still win the league. If they go on and win every game. It is literally everybody hoping that Arsenal slips up more times than what any of the other teams do. So, yes, Arsenal have one hand on the trophy as it stands. I mean, I could go through all the stats for you. I really, really could. I'm not going to, because we'll be here for absolutely ever, because there is a lot of stats. But everything is going in their favour at the moment. Obviously, this is going to be a really quick stream. Anyway, I am on my own. So I'm just going to get in and out. I'm going to try to anyway. We have been going for 15 minutes nearly. So please do consider giving us a like and a subscribe. It's not normally me on my own. Normally, we do have quite a bit of a panel. We're normally chatting for a good 45 minutes about football. And we cover everything in football. It's not just any certain team. But let's move on to the next subject, and this will be the last subject. For me in this show, obviously, we are back tomorrow. It'll be a bit more of an in-depth show tomorrow. I just wanted to get something out to you guys because I feel like, there's a lot of chatter everywhere at the minute. I just want to clear some stuff up from my point anyway. And the last bit is Erling Haaland. Erling Haaland's had a bit of a torrid time recently. However, he looks like, and as you can see in the thumbnail, his software has rebooted. Everyone knows that I think Erling Haaland is a bit of a machine and is not human as such. So his software has rebooted. He scored 3 at the weekend to obviously give the 3 points to Manchester City. Now, their next couple of games are interesting as well. They play Spurs on Sunday. We all know what's happening at Spurs right now. It's not a fantastic time at all at Spurs at the minute. They're struggling, and there's obviously rumours going around that Conte might be leaving at the end of the season. I've heard people say that he's definitely leaving. I've heard other things saying he's not going to be leaving. There's obviously this whole situation about Harry Kane going off, whether he wants to stay or not, whether he wants to go at the end of the season to a Manchester United or somewhere like that. There's a lot of things going there. So it is a bit of an issue and a bit of a bad time to be playing Manchester City in the league. Obviously, then they're going on to Aston Villa. Now, Aston Villa are a good team. I think they're doing quite well for themselves. However, I don't think they will have enough quality to beat Manchester City at all. I know Ross is a Villa fan. I will pose this question to him and see what his opinions are. But obviously, I think they don't have enough just yet. I think a little bit more time. And then obviously, it's like I said, it's one of the first ones. Then it's Arsenal versus City at Arsenal's ground. I think that's going to be an interesting game. I think Arsenal will scrape through that, especially with it being at home for Arsenal. And then they've got a nice little bit of a run. They've got Nottingham Forest away, and then Bournemouth away, and then they play Newcastle at home. So, it's going to be an interesting little rundown to the season. And not only that, I mean, Erling Haaland is coming back into form at exactly the right time when he needs to. And if you look at the stats, I mean, Manchester City obviously have played that one more game, 14 wins, 3 losses, 53 goals, 20 conceded, clean sheets 8. And I mean, Erling Haaland has already surpassed the Golden Boot winner tally for last year, this season, and we're halfway through the season. He's on 25 goals this season. And then you've got the likes of Kevin De Bruyne. He's had 11 assists. That's the top of that one. The closest person to him is Christian Eriksen and Bukayo Saka. They're both on 7. And just say the closest person to goal-wise to Erling Haaland is Harry Kane on 15. And then Ivan Toney's in third on 13. I mean, you can go through all these stats. Passes. Rodri is on 1,758. The closest person to him is Lewis Dunk on 1,442. I think this is what I mean. Erling Haaland is coming to the form again, just as he needed to, because obviously they've got a lot of important games. But it doesn't. What I'm saying is, going back to the Arsenal thing, it doesn't matter if Erling Haaland's in form, if Kevin De Bruyne is in form. It doesn't matter who's in form on the team. If Arsenal keep winning, there's nothing they can do. They're chasing a shadow at the moment. And if Manchester City want to, push on and try and secure this 3rd title, and the only other club that's done it is Manchester United, if they want to do what Manchester United have done in the past, then they need to hope Arsenal are going to slip up, and need to hope Erling Haaland is going to be firing on all cylinders constantly. They can't really afford for him not to be on his A game, because we have seen, yes, okay, they've picked some results up when he's not been on his A game. I'll give them that. They've got quality all over the pitch, but Erling Haaland is their main threat. And we all know Erling Haaland is their main threat. The link up from De Bruyne to Haaland is where you will see 90% of the goals coming from. Yes, okay, we've seen Mahrez feed it to Haaland as well. But Mahrez prefers shooting a lot more than setting somebody else up. Mahrez is a fantastic player as well. So I'm not going to take anything away from him or anybody else either. I want to know your thoughts, guys, because I have put a prediction up there of no, it's not up on the screen, but I've done a prediction of where I think people are going to finish in the Premier League. I don't have it up. I can try and get it up very, very quickly, and then you can agree with me, you can disagree with me. Give me your thoughts as well as to who you think is going to finish where or do what. Just give me a second. I'll see if I can get it up for you very, very quickly. That one. No. It's not that one. Oh, I might not be able to get it up, actually, thinking about it. But I do have, I know for a fact that I've got Arsenal winning the league on mine. Anyway. Oh, let's have a quick look. Here we go. This should be... Here we go. So, I've got it up. It's just loading up here, and I will put it on the screen for you. And like I say, you can give me your opinions. Where do you think people are going to play? This is mine. Obviously, as you can see here, this is my predicted final table. It's halfway through the season. I've been saying for a long time that Arsenal are going to win the league. Like I said, it's not just because they're at the top of the league now. So I've got Arsenal first and Manchester City second. Manchester United third. This is the top three I think is going to be. I think Newcastle are going to start to struggle and they're going to drop down. I think Brighton have a really good chance of breaking in the top four. It is a long shot. It's my dark shot, my dark horse, my long shot, you know. And then obviously Newcastle dropping to fifth, Tottenham sixth. Then again, that could change. You know, I did this a little bit ago. Liverpool seventh. I think they're struggling, but they're going to push up a little bit more. Fulham doing very, very well this season. I think they will finish eighth. Chelsea, torrid time at the minute. Chelsea, I think they're going to struggle for the rest of the season, so I'm going to place them ninth. Brentford in 10th. Leeds, Palace, Villa, Wolves, following them up. All the teams, you know, mid-table teams. I think they will be safe this season. Leicester, West Ham, Nottingham Forest just staying up. And then the bottom three, Southampton, Everton, and Bournemouth. However, we may see a resurgence in Everton when they bring their new manager in, simply because, you know, the new manager bounce. You know, we might see them push up the table a little bit, but they need to act on that very, very soon. But that is all for today. Obviously, like I said, I am on my own. We are back tomorrow at 7:30 for the Football Lounge. Ross will be hosting that show. I will be on it, and so will Rebel. So if you have liked the content, like I said, it's a bit of a weird one, this one. We don't normally do shows on our own, so it is a bit of a strange one for me. It's the first one I've done on my own. Do consider giving it a like. And if you are new here, please do subscribe. I'd like to thank anybody here that has been watching, anybody for the comments as well. Fantastic. It is a really, really quick one. We'll be back tomorrow with all the latest updates on the Premier League. And until then, guys, thank you so much for tuning in and hope you have a great rest of your evening. Goodbye.